You asked me at the start.
I'm sick and tired of everyone getting out like Arsenal favourites. And okay,
a lot of people make us favourites, and we're favourites because we keep extending our lead at the top. Why are teams not getting shots? Because they're not coming to play as well. We're not that good that we can't concede a shot on target. Teams aren't even going for it against us because they're scared. Are Arsenal title favourites? Yes, we categorically are, and we look, dare I say it, like champions elect.
Your defence is unbelievable, I'll give it that.
Yeah, we don't look good. We look impregnable. That's the difference. We don't look good. Wait, from Arsenal, if you're going to ask me a different question, what's the best way to penetrate Arsenal and beat Arsenal and penetrate that back line? No puns intended there, obviously. I do believe the best way to get at us is you've got to come out and win. I think consistency will play out, and I think Arsenal will be the most consistent team this season.
Right, there's so much talk going on about, oh my God, Arsenal are going to win the league. They're going to do it. They're going to do it. Is this true, Neil? Are Arsenal favourites right now? Or should the sensible people still back City to win the league? Thoughts?
Marky Mark, categorically, Arsenal are the favourites for the Premier League. And I'll tell you why. Usually seasons gone past, your smart money will be on City or be on Liverpool. You know, they've shared the last 8 league titles. So what's different now? Because Arsenal have led the league a couple of seasons ago. They've also played catch up. They finished second 3 seasons in a row. So what's different this time, Mark? I tell you what's different. Arsenal are not playing well, but they keep extending their lead at the top. And actually, if you were to look at it on paper and you didn't know it was Arsenal, you didn't know it was City, you didn't know it was Liverpool, you just saw 3 teams, you'd say the guys that are cracking under pressure are actually Liverpool and City. They've lost 7 games between them already. We're not even, well, we are just about a quarter of the way of the season through. I got to say, Arsenal look good. We look almost bulletproof at the moment. And I don't feel like we're playing like there's any pressure on us. Now, granted, it's early days and the pressure will come. But you're asking me right now, are Arsenal title favourites? Yes, we categorically are. And we look, dare I say it, like champions elect.
How so? You ain't playing the best. You've got more set pieces. Yeah, I think you've got 9 and you scored 5 from open play. That's the lowest in the Premier League. I'll give it to you.
Who cares?
Is it sustainable? This has always been the question. Can you do that? You're not playing great. Okay, you're winning games. Right? Even if you do happen to win the league, do you remember at the end of last season, you said, and everyone said, and I said, Liverpool only won because they coasted to the title because everyone else was so bad. And if Arsenal do win it and do it, it won't because you're great or you're playing really good football, right? It will be because the rest of the league are underperforming and they're so unpredictable. Your biggest challengers, Liverpool, lost 4 in a row. No one thought that. City have been winning some, losing some, winning some, losing some. There's no consistency actually in any of the leagues, any of the teams playing right now, bar Sunderland and bar Bournemouth, who some could say are overachieving, right? So even if you do win the league, you're just going to be coasting to it. And you know what? It will still be a massive mistake this early on in the season to disregard Manchester City, who have been so inconsistent, I've just said, to even disregard Liverpool, who were last year's champions. Okay, they've lost 4 in a row. But that doesn't mean that they still can't come back, yeah, and pick up some run of games, get some form under them. Their confidence is going to change. Bro, you're only a couple of points ahead of Manchester City, or no, is it Bournemouth? Anything can happen. And yet, Arsenal fans and everyone out there is so, oh my God, they're going to win the league. They're going to win the league. How can you say that? It's so early on.
You can see the media narrative really. Arsenal won it, everyone else imploded. Arsenal won it, but they were so boring. Arsenal, well, whatever. It doesn't matter. To me, if we win it, as you said, if we win it, who cares? I don't care if we win it like Jose Mourinho won it at Chelsea in season 1, where he scored a goal a game, winning every game 1-0. We'll still be a great team if we continue as we're going, but it'll be a great defensive display. And don't forget, we're missing Odegaard, we're missing Havertz, we're missing Saliba, we're missing Martinelli now. Martinelli's injured. We're missing Gabriel Jesus. We've got injuries. We've got players to come back. We've got players to come back. Shut up.
We've
got players to come back.
Giza, let's break it down, yeah?
None of this is irrelevant. None of these players are irrelevant because these players
I'm about to tell you why.
Score goals. Go on.
Martin Odegaard's the first player that you mentioned. Okay, last season, he was non-existent. The first couple of games of the season, okay, non-existent. He had then a little run of games. He really played really well for 2 to 3 games, breaking the lines, forward thinking, something we haven't seen in a long time. He gets injured. He looks like he's injury prone. Who's to say that he doesn't come back in 1-2 months' time or whenever he's going to actually come back, play a couple of games and gets injured again? Unreliable. My point proven. Gabriel Martinelli. Marteta isn't even starting him. It is point proven. It is point proven.
But his body of work suggests he's not injury prone. He's been a bit unlucky with injuries recently, but the guy's been at us for, you're talking like we've just signed him. He's been here for 4 seasons, 5 seasons. He's performed. You can't say that.
Did he perform last season?
No, he was injured though, wasn't he?
Not for the entirety of the season. Not for the entirety of the season. Otherwise, why was everyone saying that Odegaard was so rubbish last season?
I don't get what you're getting at. You're either having a pop at Arsenal or you're not, which is fine.
I definitely am.
You asked me at the start. I'm
sick and tired of everyone going, oh my God, Arsenal favourites. Okay.
Are we title favourites? We're title favourites. I can't really put it any other way. We are the favourites. Bookies make us favourites. I make us favourites. A lot of people make us favourites, and we're favourites because we keep extending our lead at the top over City and Liverpool. No disrespect to Bournemouth, no disrespect to Sunderland, obviously, and plenty of disrespect to Spurs because Spurs are shit.
There's a lot of faith in Arsenal right now. Yeah, how are you going to feel?
Because we look good. We don't concede.
Do you look good?
Shots.
Okay, your defence is unbelievable. I'll give it that. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't look good. We look impregnable. That's the difference. We don't look good, but we also look like we're beating teams before they even step on the pitch. They're not even playing against us, not even playing expansive football. Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's a crazy stat to have no shots on target in the whole of October. But that also as great as we are, why is no one even getting a shot on target against us in terms of defensively? But what I'm saying is, why are teams not getting shots? Because they're not coming to play as well. You've got to look at it both sides of the sword. We're not that good that we can't concede a shot on target. Come on. Teams aren't even going for it against us because they're scared. We can get you both ways. Now, I think the best way to beat Arsenal, if you're going to ask me a different question, what's the best way to penetrate Arsenal and beat Arsenal and penetrate that back line? No puns intended there, obviously. I do believe the best way to get at us is you've got to come at us because we can be got at. City proved we can be got at. Newcastle proved we can be got at. But since then, sides have looked at us and gone, you know what? They're solid. Yeah, and this is the thing. Teams need to start doing that. You know, Slot, he's been moaning, saying, "Oh, teams are playing differently against Liverpool." They are. Well, teams need to play differently against Arsenal because if you do put it on Arsenal, we'll start seeing some vulnerabilities. But right now, Mark, we're not seeing them because no one's putting it on us. And let's see what Burnley do. Let's see what Sunderland do. There are our next 2 games, both of them away. If they can put it on us, I tell you what, Sunderland will put it on us because they're not scared, as you well know. Guys, if you're liking the content that we're bringing to you right now and you're liking our style, do not forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next video. And also, we can continue producing the same type of content. Marky Mark, I know you got more questions for me. Why
I'm gonna
don't you
blast you,
hit me, or
bro.
I'm going to hit you?
I'm gonna blast you, bro. All right,
Yeah,
fine.
let's go.
What is more realistic? Because right now, your favourites, but as the bookies say, your favourites for the Premier League, you're actually.
Do you think we're favourites?
No, I don't. I don't. I think, and the reason for that is, yeah, it's still too early. You can have bro, you can lose one game and Bournemouth can win one game and you're pretty much even. You can lose a couple of games. City can win a couple of games.
Who's your favourites?
City, I will still put my money on City. There's been a couple of seasons before as well where everyone was saying Arsenal are going to win the league. 2-3 seasons ago, Gary Neville, everyone was saying I feel like, who's your prediction for the year? I'm going to have to go for Arsenal. The next year, who are you going to go for? I want to go for Arsenal. And have Arsenal done it? No, because there's always something in the season that happens that derails you, puts you up. And you have to follow the trend.
Let me hit you with another question. Yeah, I agree with that, but let me hit you with another question. Have I ever said we're going to win it in the last 3 seasons?
You haven't. I'll give you that. You yourself have not, but you're one
different.
person.
Look, Giza, I could be wrong. Obviously, I could be wrong. You know, even a broken clock is right twice in a day, right? And I could be wrong. Miracles do happen, but this feels different this season. And not only because Arsenal feel like they're solid, I feel like we're just ticking the games off one by one. I actually don't feel like we're playing with any pressure at the moment. I actually feel like when I watch City, I feel like they're playing with a bit of pressure. I feel like, I watch Liverpool and I just think they're just falling apart in front of my eyes. Now, of course, that can change, dude. But right now, I've got us favourites because I think we look calm, we look collected, we look ready to win. And let's be honest, you're all losers at some point until you actually take that last step and win. There's always teams that need to take that step.
Still need to score more goals from open play. Still need to score more goals from open play. You've only got 5.
Bro, we will.
Bro, Chelsea
we're not going to go all season without scoring goals from open play.
Chelsea have more goals than Arsenal in the Premier League? Right?
But they don't have more points. But they don't have more points. That's the point.
Okay, well played.
You've conceded more, haven't you? You've lost 3.
Yeah. Fair. All right, fair. Look, there's pros and cons. I love to play the devil. Come on. What to you, though, is, look, you're ranked, your bookie's favourite for the Premier League. Your second bookie's favourite for the Champions League, which is...
I don't agree with that.
Frigging crazy, because you have Barca, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, PSG, Man City, even if you get there. And if they get that far, yeah, that means they're doing all right. They're doing something
City,
right.
Yeah, they got pedigree in Europe. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah.
What for you then, Giza, is more realistic, the Premier League or the Champions League?
Well, I think we'll win the Premier League. And I'm not confident on the Champions League. Champions League is always a bit more of a lottery.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. It's less games to win. It's only 15 or 16 games for the whole competition. So it's a 15, 16 game cup competition, but anything can happen. Yeah. Plus, you're coming up against so many different styles. Yeah. Now, the caveat to that is in the Champions League, we're scoring free-flowing, actually. We're scoring more free-flowing goals in the Champions League so far than we are in the Premier League. But if you're going to ask me where I think we're going to win, I think consistency will play out. And I think Arsenal will be the most consistent team this season, which means, and obviously the Premier League the league will always reward consistency. And so I think I'm more confident on winning the Premier League. Plus I've tipped Munich for the Champions League. I think they've just got those the X factor is enough to get rid of a consistent team like Arsenal. Arsenal can be consistent, not concede a shot, but they can only have to concede one shot, and someone like Harry Kane can just put it away. Someone like Mbappe can just put it away. Anyone of PSG's front line can just put it away. Yeah.
I'm going to say something controversial, considering everything that I've said so far.
That's not like you, is it?
Considering everything that I've said so far, Giza, if Arsenal in the group stages of the Champions League start smashing all the teams around them, right, it's only the group stages. Yeah. Have a look at PSG last season. They did terrible and then they went on to win it. But if Arsenal smash it and they get put they get an easy route to the semi-finals, and that can happen, especially if you pick up higher points in the group stages. I reckon if you get an easy route and you get to the semis, anything can happen. I think, and I think even if you play Bayern, anything, even if you play Madrid, PSG, it's not God given that they're gonna win and stomp on you. That's not God given.
Real Madrid have never beaten us in Europe, have they? So that they're guaranteed to lose against us.
You had to do
losing
it
to small teams like Real Madrid, buddy.
Look, you're right. If you get there, anything could happen, and you wouldn't want to put money against it.
That's the same with you. If Chelsea gets to the semis in the quarters, anything can happen. We've seen it. We've seen Chelsea win it twice when they've been underdogs, not just once, twice. You're underdogs when you won it. No, but that's not a bad. That's not a dig. That's not a dig.
It's true.
We've seen Liverpool. It's
true. The best teams don't win it.
Not always. Sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't. And that's the thing. But you got to get there, Mark. I do think, though, just on that point before I kick it back to you, and I do think this season will be different in the Champions League to last season. PSG were terrible, Real Madrid, all of them, and they made the table a little bit upside down, much like when you get a wet Formula One race and it's qualifying in the wet. You get a sort of back to front grid. That's what happened in the Champions League last season. I think this season you'll see the big boys rise to the top. I think you'll see the cream rise to the top in the group stages, and they should therefore, in theory, have easier rounds than what Liverpool had in the last 16 last season. Because for all what we say about Liverpool, I mean, they were so unlucky to finish top of the group stages or wherever they finished, top or second, and then drew PSG in the last 16. I mean, that is a joke.
There you go.
It won't happen this season. I don't think it will happen this season. I think the big boys will be at the top, and I think they'll be easier last 16 rounds.
I agree. I think that could happen as well. Because, look, I'm going to change the topic and go back to Arsenal about the league and stuff, because you are so optimistic, and the bookies and everyone else is so confident. Optimistic. And everyone's so confident.
I'm not betting my house on it, Mark.
I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. What I'm going to say is that everyone is pipping them to the title and confident they're going to run away with it, they're going to do it. What happens, though, if you get nothing, geezer? And now I'm going to say to you, even if you lose to it by a point, even if, you get 89 points and the winner gets 90 points. Now, at this point, I can say, what happens? How are you going to feel? What does that say about Arsenal?
Yeah, I mean, look, I want to just, before I answer that, no, it's fair. And I think it's a great question. I want to also agree with something that you said on the last podcast. You said, listen, Neil, it's early. And I think we were speaking to viewers at the time. And you said, wait until Christmas. Let's see where Arsenal, and I agreed with you. I think you've got to wait because we've got a really tough period coming up during the November and bits of December. And it's just chaos then. And you don't know what's going to happen. And I think at that point, really, we can judge what's going to happen. But let's say we're 18, 19 games through, come through the Christmas period, and we've still got a 6-point lead over City and a 7-point lead over Liverpool. Now, a lot can happen between now and then. If that is the case, and then we still lose the title by a point with half a season to go, that to me is deflating as hell. I'll be very confident, Mark, if we're 6-7 points clear of City and Liverpool at the turn of the year, like you said, through the Christmas period, I'll be very confident that we're winning the title. I'm not putting my house on it now, but if we're still 6.7 points clear, I'm not putting my house on it again, but I'll put money on it that we would win the title. If you gave me some money to put on it, I would put it on us very confidently. If we don't win it, even if we lose it from there by a point, you got Paul Merson saying, oh, well, it depends like how you're losing. If you score 90 points and someone scores 91, what can you do? Take your hat off to them. But if you're 6-7 points clear and then you lose it by a point in May, that's a bottle.
And that's your reputation.
That's a bottle.
That is
that's the reputation people give us. And right now it's up to us to prove everyone else wrong, isn't it? So I can sit here and cry about it, but really and truly, if people are going to say that about us, we can't really come back with anything else. So the best way to shut the critics up, and you'll never shut all the critics up, is to go out there and win it. That's the best way. The best way is to go out there and win it. But if we've got a 6-7 point lead at the start of Jan and we lose it by a point mark, questions got to be asked.
Would you rather win the Champions League, which you've never won in your history? I mean, you're never going to be the first team in London to win it, that's for sure. Yeah. But
Thanks
would
for
you...
that.
I can't put you down, Geese. That's why I'm here. Would you rather win the Champions League that you've never won before, or would you rather win the Premier League, which you haven't won in over 25 years? Or 21 years. 23, like whatever.
Yeah. So I get asked this question quite a bit.
Never
One of our
won.
viewers...
You've never won the Champions League. It's going to put you in a new stratosphere, right? You're going to be pretty much champions of Europe. You are going to be champions of Europe, and all spotlight is going to be on you as being the team to watch, the team to be, the team to inspire to.
The Premier League is your bread and butter, right? If you win the Premier League, then you're always going to have a chance in the Champions League the following season, every season, right? Because you're champions of England, you're going to be in the Champions League by default. Think of the Premier League as your day-to-day, Mark. You get up, you do the hard graft, you go to work. It's not sexy, it's not exciting, but it pays the bills, it pays the mortgage, it keeps a roof over your head. That's your bread and butter. That's your Premier League. And think of the Champions League as your red carpet event. You rock up in a top drawer tuxedo, you got Margot Robbie on your arm, you're looking the bollocks, you're looking the nuts. It's an awards ceremony and it happens, it's the glitz and the glamour. I love the glitz and the glamour.
Yes.
But if we win the Champions League, we could still finish 5th, 6th in the Premier League. Now, obviously we won't, but I say that. But the thing is with the Premier League, I want to win the Premier League because if you win the Premier League, you've always got a chance in the Champions League. If you win the Champions League, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're the best team in your own league. And I think if you're the best team in your own league, you'll always have a shot at the Champions League. That said, don't get me wrong, I'll take either, but I'd love the glitz and the glamour of the Champions League. But can I sacrifice one night on the red carpet with Margot Robbie to make sure that I've got a house every day and I'm building every day? Yeah, give me the league title, because if you give me the league title, I'm in with a shot for the Champions League every season. Whereas if you give me a Champions League, I may not be in the shot for Premier League, and I want to be in. I want to be in for a shot. I want to be in with a shot for the title. That's our bread and butter.
If Arsenal, right, get far in the Champions League, right, that means they're going to be reserving a lot of their best players for those specific games.
Yeah.
Do you think that is going to impact your run in the Premier League? Do you really think, considering how often you guys get injuries, do you think you
that
going
is a problem?
That, bro, you get to the semi-finals, sorry for swearing, Arteta will have to play and go for it. You've got the squad, depending on injuries, to put your best players. You're going to play on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. You're going to be tired and knackered. You could still be playing 2 to 3 games a week. You have a vastly quality, in-depth squad, but you do get injuries. Will that hamper and derail your charge for the title? Or would you prefer go out in the quarters, focus fully on the Premier League, reserve all your best available players for the Premier League, giving you maximum chance to win the Premier League, which is your preference, to win the Premier League over the Champions League? What's your thoughts on that, Geezer?
Well, I want to win both. There's no, would you take going out in the quarters? Yeah, I don't want to go out in the quarters, no. And I tell you what, and I don't think it will hamper us. I'll tell you why. Going deep in the Champions League will be fine, and we will be fine, because we'd have already won the Premier League by March. So don't worry about it, Mark. We'll be Premier League
Fucking
champions by end
hell.
of
Here we
March.
go, the
And
Arsenal
then
talk.
we
This
can
is why.
focus. We can focus on the Champions League. Look,
God.
if the title's not done, which it probably won't be, and the scenario you paint out, it could help us just operating at that top level, or it could just completely derail everything. I'm willing to take the risk. I don't want to go out in the quarters. I want to go deep. I want to go deep in both, and I want to try and focus on both. And Arteta's going to have his work cut out. But that is why you build a squad where you have two players in each position. And that is what he's done. He's built a squad primed to challenge on multiple fronts. So I think we'll be okay. Having said that, Mark, injuries are becoming a bit of a problem for us. So Martinelli's gone down now as well. And we've lost Saliba, as we saw on the weekend. So that's adding to a mounting injury list. Odegaard obviously is out for a period of time. We don't know when he's going to be back. So Kai Havertz as well has been out for ages. So it's becoming a bit of a problem. We've got the strength in depth now. But like you said, Mark, this isn't crunch time. Crunch time will be the end of the season. There's the quarters, the semis of the Champions Leagues, and then you've got to, play Liverpool, City in the league as well. Like, what are you guys going to do? We'll see. But I hope that answered your question. I kind of dodged it really.
No, fair. I need to be expected from an Arsenal fan. That's fine.
Yeah,
Look, you got one player. Who is the most important player to Arsenal right now? That's a quick question.
Some Arsenal fans will say Declan Rice. Some Arsenal fans will say Bukayo Saka.
Maybe.
Some Arsenal fans will say, I don't know, whoever. I'm going to say Gabriel.
And if Gabriel gets injured, I don't want anyone to get injured, even the opposition. Yeah, it's not nice. But let's say, so Saliba's already injured. We already know he's just not as important as Gabriel, as quality as Saliba is. Gabriel gets injured, let's say next month, just giving you a scenario, out for 3-4 months. What are Arsenal's chances of winning the league? Considering what happened when he got injured last season and how you kind of fell apart a little bit.
If Big Gabby, and again, that kind of question is horrible, but if he's out for 3-4 months, what happens to our chances? They drop. They drop significantly. Now, we could still do it but we may be a bit more reliant on teams around us to drop points and almost kind of continue their dodgy form as well. Because if City or Liverpool put a run together, they could catch us if Big Gabby goes down. Now, I could be wrong. We may just consider, because we've got such a stable foundation, someone else might come in and have an easier job to do than they would normally in another back line. We don't know, and they may just have enough cover. But it's a big blow.
Massive.
He's the key man, dude.
He is the key man.
In both boxes, he's key man. Because if he's not scoring goals in the opposition box, he's assisting or flicking on or getting headers onto the bar that then lead to another chance. He's such a threat because we're going to get, what's guaranteed, Mark? Every game, we're going to get at least a couple of corners. That's a guarantee because we're attacking teams and by default, because we're attacking teams, we're going to get corners. And Big Gabby's live in every corner. Yeah, it's huge, man. He's the most influential player. I agree with Carragher. He's the most influential player in the Premier League.
I agree with that as well. I agree with that. Now, there's a lot of talk about the data. Where it says Arsenal is going to win the league. Let's quickly burn through that. Has the data overhyped Arsenal?
The data is so stark between the opposite ends of the football pitch. So from a defensive standpoint, we rank first in expected goal difference, first against expected XG, fourth in expected goals, first in goal difference, and top of the table. 3 goals conceded. We're number 1 in goals conceded as well. We're tracking, not that we're going to hit it, but we're tracking for the famous Mourinho 04-05 seasons of 15 goals conceded. We're tracking at that moment. So the overall numbers, we top the table from one side of the pitch, but the other side, Open play goals people are talking about, just genuine goals expected, chances created. The numbers we're not at the top of the table on that side. In fact, one of them, I think you pointed out last week, we're 20th, I think, in terms of open play expected goals or something like that, right? But I think the key bits of data, Mark, if I'm going to pull out bits of data, is last season we finished second on 74 points. This season, we're really going to have to probably get to 90 points if we want to win the title. Yeah. I think 90 points is really the benchmark, and that's a kind of a minimum. So we need to plus 16. Of all the games we've played so far this season, we are net 9 points positive, which means we're tracking for 83 points, 9 points more than what we got last season already this early on in the season. Now, if this trajectory continues, our net positive is going to go through the roof, right? And we're going to score way more than 90 points. But the point being, those are the bits of data I'm concerned about. Not, are you scoring enough from open play? They'll come. I'm convinced that we'll score enough goals from open play. The data, the 2 data points, what are we net new now from last season? And can we get to that 90-plus point mark? Now, we've gone to Old Trafford. We've gone to St. James's. We've faced City. We scored 1 point from those 9 games. Throw in Fulham and West Ham. We scored 2 points then from 15. This season, we've already won all of those games. Fulham we didn't beat. And West Ham beat us at home. And the only game we've dropped points there is City this season. So 13 from 15. We are net positive up, Mark. And so I can't see us having a season like we did last season, which means we may have a season like we did the season before, which was a 90-point season. Let's see. Those are the key numbers for me.
Fair enough. Let's see what happens. Guys, let us know in the comments down below. Do you think Arsenal are favourites for the league? Would you rather, if you're an Arsenal fan, would you rather win the Premier League or the Champions League? And most importantly, after all of this positive talk about Arsenal winning league, what happens if you win nothing? Let us know in the comments down below. Make sure you find some subscribes, and we'll see you lot in the next one. Click this video right here, guys. Peace.